Alrighty then, this is going to be my video for the social project thingy, so I hope you enjoy it. Alrighty then, the topic, French Revolution, particularly what caused the French Revolution. Now, in my mind, what first comes to mind would be the estates, the social hierarchy that France had. The reason why this hierarchy was so bad is because the first estate had like 0.5% of the people in it, yet they didn't have to pay any taxes. They were the wealthiest estate out of the three. Now, any rational person would think that the more money that you make, the more that you'd have to contribute to society. However, this hierarchy that France adopted included the first and second estates paying the least amount of taxes. What? That's right, the least wealthy state had to pay the most taxes. Now, another reason for the French Revolution in France was that there was 26 million people in France. Now, that's a lot of jobs. Unfortunately, the world doesn't have a need for 26 million mimes. I see what you did there. Now, the French also fought and saw this American War of Independence happening. This caused the French people to want independence. This gave them pride in their nation. It made them want to be proud to be French. Do you like my hand signal? Also, another problem with 26 million people is, how do you feed them? Like, they're hungry French guys, you know? They need their bread. But they had harvest shortages and crops just didn't come out the way that they wanted, so yeah, that would kind of suck. No bread. Bread's good. Also, France's involvement in the American War made them borrow money. Like, they needed money for guns, ammunition, so on and so forth. War is expensive. And then 50% of France's revenue went into interest. Lost more money there. And then the banks would not lend France any more money. How can a country run without money? On top of that, their king was ravishing himself in his wealth, even though he was spending money that they didn't really have. Which leads me to the taking over of the French prison Bastille. Now, Bastille was a fortress housing political prisoners of the king. The significance of the Third Estate attacking the Bastille is that it symbolizes an attack on the king's tyranny. Now the French people are actually standing up against the king. This was really the French people's first taste of revolution. And you know what? Revolution tastes good. It's kind of salty and sweet. Oh, some good stuff. Revolution. That stuff's good. Gosh, this is making me hungry. This brings me to my next part of this project. What was the consequence of the French Revolution? What happened because of the French Revolution? I'll try to explain. Bam! One of the largest outcomes that came from the French Revolution was that taxes became based on your income. So how much you made depended on how much you had to pay taxes. Another large thing that came from the French Revolution in France was that privileges of the nobility and exemptions were removed. So, like, taxes, for example, is one of them, and other privileges that were not given to the Third Estate were removed from them. Another large difference from pre-revolution France is that churches could no longer collect tithe, which was a tax used back then. Now, during the Revolution, King Louis decided he didn't want to sign the Declaration of Rights of Man. But one of my favorite stories of the French Revolution is how 6,000 women marched to Versailles, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, to protest bread shortages. These 6,000 women made that king sign that document. Remember when your mom was mad at you as a kid? Yeah, imagine 6 1,000 times that. I'd sign that document pretty quick. Another outcome of the French Revolution was a new constitution, which meant a new governmental system or hierarchy. In this new hierarchy, there are 83 decentralized departments. 83. So that went from having 3 estates to 83 decentralized departments. Also, there was a revamped judicial system. Judicial system. Probably just bought better wigs. Another big part of this big constitution was that the king and the government had separate control. All the power wasn't just given to the king. The government also had power in making decisions, which gave the people power. People power. Now, the group that wanted the revolution, the group that supported the revolution, they were called the Jacobins. The group that was against the revolution, they were called the Girondins. Now, the Jacobins distrusted the king. They wanted a centralized government and communal property. However, the Girondins wanted to maintain their constitutional monarchy of having the king at top, the first, second, and third estates. And they liked their private property. They liked privacy. Now, in 1792, the royal family tried to escape. They were caught and charged with treason. Now, in 1793, the king and queen were both caught and charged with conspiracy. They were sentenced to death by guillotine. So, the big block comes down, chops off your head. Yeah, that's always fun. Now, while all this was happening in France, France was fighting a war in Persia, and this was igniting a great sense of nationalism among the community in France. However, the government established a committee of public safety. Now, this committee of public safety was in charge of keeping control of counter-revolutionaries. By keeping control of, I mean killing. In the end of the Reign of Terror, which was an era of French Revolution history, there were 40,000 counter-revolutionaries executed. However, in this end, this great loss of life did preserve the French Revolution, and France would not be where it is today without this Committee of Public Safety. Oh, all this talking is making me hungry again. Now, was the French Revolution a good thing for France? In my eyes, yes, it was a good thing for France. However, many other people can have a different view or opinion on this matter. So yeah, that was my project. Quick summary. So the things that caused the French Revolution, the big thing in my mind, the thing that stands out the most was the social hierarchy of the 3 estates. That led to most of France's problems, in my opinion, through my eyes. I don't know, maybe other people have different opinions, but to me that is the largest factor that contributed to the reasoning to the French Revolution. Now, the biggest consequence to the French Revolution, the biggest thing that happened in the French Revolution was, again, in my opinion, the governmental structure. The king died, they had 83 different centralized departments in this government rather than just 3. And the church had less involvement in the government. Not yet the king. Like, the king had lots of involvement pre-revolution France. However, after this revolution, the king had not nearly as much power and then was executed. And the church had little power too, because they didn't have as much money because they couldn't collect tithes. So yeah. Hope you enjoyed it. Catch you later.